with some of these retail names that are reported over the last month or so. Who's got this right, and who is still struggling?
Very few, I think, have it right. I mean, I do think Target does, even though the stock is taking a hit this morning, as you said, on that fourth quarter guidance. They are generating positive traffic. It was up 1.4% in the quarter that they just reported. The third quarter, that's a little bit slower than the second quarter. It was up just over 2% then, but the comparison was tougher in the third quarter on traffic. I do think Walmart has it right. I like some of the dollar stores, Dollar General, for example, where you're seeing some positive traffic. You've got some niche concepts, names like Five Below, which is doing well and generating positive traffic. So there are some winners, but overall, it's pretty tough. And yeah, clearly it's Amazon, the big issue for a lot of traditional retailers.
Patrick, of course, the ugliness is always relative considering what the price is. And I'm looking at the price, and not just the price, but the short interest in some of these names is phenomenal. I was going through it with my producer this morning, and I can bring up this chart just very quickly. You take a name like JCPenney, north of 50% of the equity float is out short. Patrick, when you get to these kinds of levels of short interest, you get nervous about what could trigger a vicious squeeze?
Oh, definitely, and it would be anything positive, really, that could trigger a pretty big squeeze on some of the names like the ones that you just mentioned, Pennies, for example. I mean, they reported last week. The numbers were not so great, but they were a little better than some of the lowered expectations, so the stock was up like 15%. So yeah, no, there's no doubt. But I don't know. We're not seeing a lot of positive surprises just yet in this third quarter earnings season.
So Luke, compare for me a little bit Walmart versus Target, because Walmart a couple of years ago took a big hit as they really invested in online and they invested in their stores. Target then came along and said, you know what, we invest in, son of a gun, our stores and online. But on the other hand, Walmart made a huge investment in Jet.com. Can Target get there without a huge online investment?
I think that's really the story, and kind of almost for Target, it's been trying to play catch up for Walmart, as Walmart for itself tries to play, catch up a little in e-commerce with Amazon. But is there such a thing as third mover advantage? Because I just remember Target trying to come into Canada after Walmart, burning a bunch of money there.
I wondered how long it would take you to get up Canada, Luke.
Pulling up stake very quickly after 14 quarters and getting the heck out. And now they're kind of doing the same thing it looks like Walmart was trying to do. And you wonder if it's too late, but then you also look at some of their new lines and introductions that do seem to be bearing fruit.
So Patrick, is that what's indicating to you that in fact Target's on the right track? You said you think they are. What are the indications of that right now?
Well, I think what Target's trying to do right now is it's trying to reinforce its exclusivity, if you will. And differentiate their stores and their online business from Walmart and from Amazon. So as part of that, they have rolled out 8 new exclusive brands this year. And those brands are doing well. They're mostly in apparel and home, and they're seeing some nice traction there, and that differentiates them from the competition. It gives the customer a reason to visit Target and not Amazon and not Walmart, and not just focus entirely on price. So that's a big part of this change at Target, is to really go back to what made this company great, and it was that they were different. They weren't Walmart, and I think they're doing more of that now, and you're starting to see it in the results. It's going to take a little time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think that will help them drive a continued positive traffic trend, and that's what's key right now, I think, to the stock.